Fox News Podcasts presents the Bret Baier Podcast, Common Ground.
There are a number of senators on the Republican side that continue to want to find common ground.
We emphasize the conflict and controversy sells, and I think that's a problem because most Americans look at Washington and see something that's broken.
Why don't we look for ways that we celebrate what this country is capable of doing?
It's amazing what you can do when you get off social media and you start talking and communicating with one another because there is common ground.
With Fox News chief political anchor Bret Baier.
And we have a lot of states in our country that don't have the advantage of low-cost American energy, and that's because they made political choices for expensive energy. I don't think the citizens of those states realize that if you're paying very high prices, it's because the politicians in your state or surrounding states chose expensive energy policies.
Energy Secretary there. Tonight in our Common Ground segment, a pair of senators reaching across the aisle in support of a bill aimed at restoring American energy dominance through a cleaner source. Joining me tonight, Nebraska Republican Senator Deb Fischer and Illinois Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth. Thank you both for being here. You're both on this Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, but you also serve on the Senate Armed Services Committee. And I want to start with the breaking news, your reaction to this Signal story. Senator Wicker has announced this investigation. What's your thoughts first, Senator Fischer?
Well, we always have to have the safety of our military men and women paramount. That's a concern. And anytime you have, I think a discussion that should be held in a classified setting, have that in an unclassified setting, that's a danger. It's a danger to our service members. It puts them in harm's way. It can lead to our adversaries knowing the locations they're in and also the detail of plans. So that's obviously a concern.
Senator Duckworth, your statement was pretty pointed. You said Pete Hegseth is an effing liar. This is so clearly classified info he recklessly leaked that could have gotten our pilots killed. You say he needs to resign. Here is Secretary Hegseth dealing with those questions.
Nobody's texting war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day.
So you think he should step down?
I do, because what he texted was the drones are going to hit, then the second sortie of F-18s will be on target. That tells the enemy exactly when the drones hit in that spot, 30 minutes later, the F-18s are going to be there. That is my concern. That's why I'm so upset. As a former pilot, you know, I have a special affinity for pilots who are out there. And these men and women, thank goodness we're not injured on this mission, and I worry about future missions. I worry that our allies might not share information with us if they feel that we do not know how to safeguard. So I really want to thank Chairman Wicker for agreeing to do this investigation. I think a bipartisan, nonpartisan investigation is what is needed.
I've noticed Democrats using expletives a little bit more in statements. Is that why you decided to use that?
I'm an Army helicopter pilot. I'm a grunt pilot. I am known to have a little bit of a potty mouth, unfortunately.
We'll see where this goes. Obviously, this investigation will go forward. The president and the National Security Advisor both said it was a mistake and they're moving forward, but Senator Wicker is doing this investigation along with Senator Reid, bipartisan. Now, I want to talk about this bill and what it's really about is amending the Clean Air Act. Explain that, Senator Fischer.
Well, right now we have a patchwork of regulations for E15. And we want to be able to have a year-round sale of E15. It's not a mandate. It's an option that our gas stations can use.
It's a mixture of ethanol.
Right. It's a mixture of ethanol, 15%. And it helps a number of different entities. Obviously, we look at it because it helps consumers. It's cheaper at the pump. It's a clean fuel. It helps our corn farmers. in Illinois and in Nebraska. We have a huge group of stakeholders from our oil companies. You know, big oil hasn't always been a fan of E15, but they realize the benefits of it now too. So the American Petroleum Institute, the refineries, our convenience stores. We have a lot of momentum on this, and we just want to be able to get it done. I've introduced it every year for the last 11 years.
So what got you together working on this?
Senator
The fuel prices.
Senator Duckworth is a warrior. You know, you learned that with the potty mouth comment. But Senator Duckworth is a warrior, and I'm just really, really fortunate to have her as my partner on this bill so we can get it done.
We'll hear more after this.
I mentioned fuel prices. If unleaded gasoline at $3.15, E15 at $2.76, that's one of the benefits, obviously. Senator Duckworth, what's taken so long on this, you think?
Well, it's just been hard to get it across the finish line. And this is something that the Trump administration, the first Trump administration, worked on this. We worked on this on the Biden administration. This is something we've been working on every single year. I think we've gone to a place now where we have consensus, where people, especially the oil refineries, have realized they actually sell more gas if they actually blend in more E15 because the demand goes up. People will buy and travel more. And so this, in the long run, is really good for the consumer. It's also good for our ag sector. Our farmers need all the help they can get. They're really facing some headwinds right now. And so year-round E15 is what is needed. It's going to be good for everybody. And it just took a while to get the oil folks on board.
Yeah, so this is one of the things you're working on, but there are other things that you all work together on up on Capitol Hill. Obviously, armed services is a bipartisan effort usually, although you're on different sides sometimes.
Yeah, we have a great working relationship. And Tammy and I, being on armed services, we've been together, and the committee has been together on so many, many issues, so that we all have that common goal of protecting this country and making sure that we are secure and safe in this country. And I think that is sometimes not reported on enough, and people need to know. So I thank you for doing segments like this.
Yeah, we've been doing Common Ground for almost 18 months now. But Senator Duckworth, there's other things, even though the heated politics can get pretty hot up there, right?
It can get pretty hot, you know, but really we're friends and we get along. We don't always vote the same way, and we might oppose each other, but especially in Armed Services Committee, I think we'll sit down during that bill writing process, during the debate process, and oftentimes we will come to a place where, you know, we get to consensus where I get 80% of what I want, you get 80% of what you want, and it helps America. Again, we both want the same thing. We love this country. And I assume that Deb loves this country as much as I love this country. But sometimes we look at the problem from different perspectives, so we're going to have slightly different answers. But as long as we get to a place where we support America, support our farmers, protect our military men and women, and keep our promise to veterans, we're going to be in agreement all day long.
Well, Senators, thanks so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.